U.S. lost its top credit rating. What are we doing to get it back? Well, let's hope we don't end up like Greece, because this is what it could look like. Another debt downgrade. Greece's credit rating from Moody's falling to the absolute lowest rating on its scale. Tonight, outrage over Rush Limbaugh's comments about a Georgetown Law School student who testified on Capitol Hill last week about President Obama's birth control policy. Now, this policy requires employers to provide free birth control coverage, but exempts religious-based institutions by making insurance companies pay instead. Rush Limbaugh has an issue with the free part, and here's what he said.
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke, who goes before a congressional committee and essentially says that she must be paid to have sex? What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right? Makes her a prostitute. She wants to be paid to have sex. She's having so much sex she can't afford the contraception. She wants you and me and the taxpayers to pay her to have sex.
That's not all. Limbaugh went on to say this.
So, Ms. Fluke, and the rest of you feminazis, here's the deal. If we are going to pay for your contraceptives and thus pay for you to have sex, we want something for it. And I'll tell you what it is. We want you to post the videos online so we can all watch.
Senator Fluke, who received a supportive call from President Obama today, is not backing down.
I know that I felt probably the way many women do when they are called those types of names, initially hurt and then very quickly upset and just outraged because someone is trying to silence you.
John Avlon is here, Ryan Salam, and Tim Punke, the Democratic strategist. Great to have all three of you with us. We appreciate it. So, John, Rick Santorum came out and said Rush Limbaugh is being absurd. Mitt Romney has not said anything. Obviously, we know the President of the United States called this woman, Sandra Fluke. Is Mitt Romney going to weigh in? Should everybody be weighing in?
Look, I mean, absurd is a kind word for what Rush Limbaugh did, but responsible Republicans tear their hair out when Rush Limbaugh starts defining the terms of the debate. Look, at the end of the day, Rush Limbaugh is an entertainer. He's a talented entertainer. He's an influential entertainer. But the problem is he's treated as a political leader without any sense of responsibility. And that's where Republicans get in real trouble, because this new front in the culture wars has erupted, this contraception debate that seems to many folks, especially independent women, like it's coming from another decade. So this is great news for the Democrats in the short run. They're picking up independent women from it. It's bad news for Republicans who have to bear the weight of being associated with Rush Limbaugh.
Ryan, though, this is a tough one, because a lot of Republicans want to be quiet about this because, well, they're afraid of Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh is an incredibly powerful man in the Republican Party. That's a fact.
There's a huge tension here, because basically Rush Limbaugh does well when his audience is very angry, when they're very active, when they're very energetic, and that's actually not when conservatives are winning. So actually, the election of President Obama is actually a huge boon for Rush Limbaugh as an entertainer in terms of building audience, in terms of also building influence in the Republican Party. When there's an actual Republican leader, say an actual Republican president, that person is going to drown out any entertainer or whoever else. When President Reagan was in office, you didn't hear about various talk radio hosts and what have you being huge influencers on the political right. So the thing is that as the right shrinks, the bigger a voice you have if you're the kind of person who engaged in this kind of smash-mouth tactic.
Well, Tim, I have to say, on a certain level, this has got to be a dream come true for the president, for Democrats. I mean, Senator Kristen Gillibrand from New York sent out a fundraising email on this today. I mean, this is sort of handing it to him on a silver platter.
Sure.
Well, it's very reflective of what's happened in the last several weeks, which is the Republicans have just gone incredibly off message, from talking about the separation of church and state to whether or not you're a snob if you go to college. Look, this whole Republican nomination started off talking about jobs in the economy. There was going to be a laser-like focus on jobs in the economy. Now, as the economy has gotten better and Santorum and Gingrich have kind of hung around the race, they're talking about, whether or not we can even actually engage in civil discord and all these issues that, frankly, mainstream Americans don't care about. And they're in real trouble. And I think it's also, you look at Mitt Romney today, who can't even come out and say anything about this issue because he's so nervous about alienating the hardcore Republican base. It's a real problem for the Republicans.
Or it could be that he intends to talk about economic policy issues, right? I mean, the thing is that this conversation is not something that is controlled by any party. It is something that emerges organically as people say incendiary things, and then you have a response. So on the right, a lot of people felt, wait a second, President Obama really overreached, including a lot of folks who were President Obama supporters. Then you have a response to that. Then people identify people who are very much on the margins of this conversation, and you say, they're the ones who represent everything, which is totally misleading.
Hold on, Ryan. I mean, the problem here is that what we have in this polarized environment is the special interests from both sides do drive the debate, sometimes the legislative agenda. The problem is the Republican Party with the Tea Party used a lot of libertarian rhetoric, talking about expanding individual freedom and not focusing on social issues. And then the problem is when Republicans got in, one of the first things they did was try to defund Planned Parenthood. That makes it look like it's about governments that's just small enough to get in your bedroom. And that offends folks and it alienates folks, particularly independents and women.
Look, there's a ton of pushback. There are a lot of different opinions on this, and that's the problem with living in a diverse society. The basic idea, the bedrock idea of the small government conservatives is these are contentious issues, and that's why they should be handled voluntarily. They should be handled by state and local governments. Yeah. They should not be handled at the federal level, and that's the core issue.
All right, well, thanks very much to all three of you. Appreciate your taking the time. All right, let's check in with Anderson Cooper. Anderson, what